This is. All right, here we go. Hey, welcome to another episode of the Blackout Tips Podcast. I'm your host, Rod, joined as always by my co-host,
Karen.
And we're live on a Tuesday, ready to give you some podcasts. And find us everywhere you find podcasts. The official weapon of the show is
the folding chair.
And the unofficial sport.
Bullet ball.
And bullet ball extreme. The banter? Or you good? Or you got any?
I don't have any.
Okay, cool. I'm trying to think. I feel like I have banter. Let me check my notes. Oh, well, kinda. All right, you know what? Fuck it. What's the reason to play the song? Okay, you guys like the song.
I do too. It's a bop.
I like the song, so we can get to play the song, even though the song might be longer than the actual banter segment.
It don't matter. There was no rules.
Yeah, there was no rules, guys. Do you have any banter? Talk to me. Do you have any banter? Talk to me. Do you have any banter? Do you have any banter?
I do.
Talk to me. Banter. Talk to me. Do you have any banter?
I do.
Banter. I had to ask the chat room if they can see and hear, because I didn't see any comments, but I assume it's because we started while everybody's still at work on their work computers and they trying to play it cool. No problem, y'all. Just had to check to make sure there were no technical difficulties. When we don't see comments, I'm like, oh man, is nobody hearing this
Right,
shit?
it's nobody now.
All right. The only banter I really have is there. Have you seen the meme on social media that's like, can you hear me out?
Can you hear me out? No, something new.
Yeah. So it's not new, but it's like a hear me out, and like you take a person that maybe people don't find traditionally attractive, or someone in a not necessarily attractive moment, or someone that people do not like a lot, and then they go hear me out, as in like, I would have sex with this person, I find this person attractive.
Okay.
You've never seen that? Okay. Yeah, it happens all the time, but it's been happening so much that it's actually being misused, and it's starting to get on my nerves a little bit, because people are using it and saying, like, they be like, hear me out, and it's a picture of Halle Berry from Swordfish, and it's like, the deaf can hear that. That's you're not using the meme right.
Right.
The meme is supposed to be for people that just, it's like, who would want to have sex with that person or be with them or find them attractive? That's when you pull up on the hear me out. You know, you don't be like, oh man, Lizzo, hear me out. Like, yeah, Lizzo's touring around the world selling sex. Many people want to have sex with Lizzo.
Right.
Like, just because your personal whatever with hang-ups, that's
right.
not necessarily the meme. You got to find a person that people are like, the general consensus is supposed to make you feel bad. It's supposed to make you feel like, man, I hate to admit this. And then you find camaraderie with some other people that are like, actually, you know what, me too, on the low. But it's not supposed to be it's like when people say unpopular opinion, and it's always a popular opinion.
Right.
I hate that shit. I hate it.
'Cause
you're not using it right.
It's the opposite of what it was meant to be.
Yeah. Give it. What unpopular opinion? Friends should never talk behind each other's back. Like, shut the fuck up. That's not unpopular. And hear me out is becoming that. Like, it should be, and I think it's because, I don't know, but it should be like Janet Reno being sworn in, and then you should be like, hear me out. And then people, because that's a person in that moment, no one's thinking about Janet Reno as a sex symbol, icon, anything. Nope. They're like, what? Why would you even be thinking about fucking Janet Reno at a time like this? That's a hear me out.
That's where you pull that card.
A tentacle alien. You know what I mean? That alien with the elbow titties from Rick and Morty. That's a hear me out.
That's definitely a hear me out.
Like, now she do got them elbow titties. I mean, I know y'all would judge,
right?
But you gotta work with me on this, okay? Somebody out there want to fuck some elbow titties.
Yes, they do.
That's all.
Rick is one of them.
Yeah. The fuck? I don't appreciate it, man. I think it's getting kind of played out the way people are using it. All right, let's get into some news. I guess we do a little bit of politics till we get mad, and maybe flow into some Diddy. Although that's kind of like politics till we get mad too, but whatever.
I didn't know she was black until a number of years ago when she happened to turn black, and now she wants to be known as black.
People have got to know whether or not their president's a crook. Well, I'm not a crook. I've earned everything I've got.
There's an old saying in Tennessee, I know it's in Texas, probably Tennessee, that says, fool me once, shame on you, shame on you. Fool me, we can't get fooled again.
Tell you what, I don't know about you, but I'm going to go to bed.
All right, let's talk about these politics until, of course, we inevitably get mad. Donald Trump loves Kid Rock's MAGA-friendly restaurant after that ICE controversy, where the ICE raided
Is he
the
the only
city.
person eating it now? Some shit. I say, is he the only person?
Trump?
Yeah.
I don't think Trump would eat in Kid Rock's restaurant for real.
That's right, because he don't sell McDonald's.
All right. He just want to
My
get some
bad.
Big Macs and go back to work. Also, like, man, low key, you know who really took a hit with this presidency, but nobody talks about it with Trump? All the people that want us to be healthy. This man is still ticking. Just continuing to wake up every morning. Just
Eating lard and all types of other bullshit.
eating 100% Big Macs and
Right.
just alive to the motherfucker. Just every other president, they got them out here biking. They out
They're
here doing
healthy.
motherfucking- They out here on the treadmill. They
Right.
eating.
Checking
they
their
got
blood
chefs.
pressure all the time.
Right. This motherfucker is serving McDonald's at the fucking Super Bowl party and
Right.
living to tell about it every day. Just beating
Right.
COVID and everything.
Right.
Just,
The rest of them, they was like they doing yoga and Pilates and shit, flexible. He's like, fuck that.
the COVID just coming in his system and being like, it's stinking here and leaving, just letting him live. Just anyway. But yeah, he said he praised the restaurant as a very friendly MAGA establishment on his Truth Social. So like, he didn't go
You
there.
don't know nothing about that place.
The only thing he knew was that even after that story, Kid Rock said, I still hate the immigrants and I'm with Trump. And he said, all right, let me throw you a bone. I love your place.
All right.
Let's see. The Navy mulls new names for USNS Harvey Milk and ships named for civil rights leaders. They're in their, effort to purge DEI. The U.S. Navy is considering renaming multiple naval ships that are named after civil rights icons because, of course, Harvey Milk was a gay person. They're also, I believe, considering renaming the Thurgood Marshall, U.S. Supreme Court Justice Thurgood Marshall, the Ruth Bader Ginsburg, Harriet Tubman, Dolores Huerta, Lucy Stone, Cesar Chavez, and Medgar Evers. So they are recommending renaming them. That just goes back to what we said yesterday, man. Like, the more you know about the history of the country, the more you see how it's not changed. And then they be having some nerve to wonder why people don't feel, gung-ho about this country. It's actively trying to erase some of our history from some of our greatest Americans, the people that made this country have to live up to the ideals that it lied about in the Constitution. But we talking about the 1776 versus the 1619, and 1776 is erasing history.
Yeah, and also it's one of those things too, to where a lot of white America don't understand other cultures' patriotism about America. Like, they like, if you don't wave these flags, have these eagles, and consistently say America is the best, you're not American. It's not true. That's not true. I love this country, but I have a conflict with it that they don't have. And because of that, I demand more of her. And I can be an American, love this country, and still be upset at the bullshit that happened to it, and know the bullshit we've done in our past isn't right and is wrong and is impacting me, and still be just as American as they are. But their anger is justified. My anger is not. And that's the problem. Like y'all allowed to be angry and go out here and fuck up shit and do shit, and your anger is okay. Anybody else's anger is not justified, is not valid, and y'all have to beat it.
I just remember the argument for keeping the names of Confederate generals and soldiers on monuments being that America can't afford to erase history. I'm old enough to remember that. Like 3-4 years ago after George Floyd, and 5 years ago, I guess, at this point. And now, and for the record, I wasn't really big on that one way or the other. Like, I didn't give a fuck if you took the name off the school or not. Like, do it if it make you feel good, do it. But it doesn't change what this country is, and I don't want to turn it into a we just forget the evil of Robert E. Lee.
Right.
We forget William Bedford Forrest and stuff because we're just pretending it didn't happen. I know there are lots of black people who did like that, and I'm not begrudging you. It's just I personally do understand what you're saying, but it just somehow it sometimes aligns with a certain type of white point of view of like, hey, I'm a well-meaning white person, let's just pretend these people didn't exist. It was all a big, like, that's in the past, that don't matter. I didn't own slaves, you not a slave, let's move on. And I've always kind of been a little bit, of two minds about it, not strongly really one way or the other, but always kind of like, that did happen, right? Them people did do those things. So I just wish we would learn the real history of them. Like, sure, take them off the monument, absolutely, fuck it, burn it, melt it down, I don't give a fuck. Makes me smile, honestly. I brush my teeth with it, I melt it into gold and wear it as a chain. Do not give a fuck about that. But I think it really behooves us then to make sure that stuff stays in the schools so that you do learn the history of these people. And I feel like now we're catching it from both angles. They're taking out what slavery was in the textbooks for the kids, and at the same time they're erasing the black people who triumphed, survived, and fought and made this country what it is. They're erasing these people, not to mention everyone else I just named. If you're gay, if you're lesbian, gay, if you're a woman, if you're immigrant, like all these people, that whole list of names, they're just taking them off. And yeah, you know what they're trying to do, they're just trying to make it seem like this didn't happen and white people are the only people that count here.
Yep. And it's a trick bag, because like this, I get it, y'all. I understand that a lot of shit that happened in African American or black history here is devastating and it's heartbreaking and it makes you feel bad. I get it. But y'all do know we were the victims of this, right? We didn't perpetrate these crimes. Most of them, we didn't perpetrate these crimes. And so the victims are ashamed. The people that did it don't want to feel bad. So everybody was like, I don't want to talk about it from two different perspectives. One is doing it out of hate and the other one's doing it out of pain.
And this level of aggressiveness that they're taking is why I always preach, like, nah, we can't we should not feel bad for what was done to us. We should feel proud for the people that survived, right, and being the ancestors and them being our ancestors. And the reason I worry about it is because of stuff like today. Because they're not just gonna take these names down. That's not all that's gonna happen.
Oh no, this is just the beginning.
What I'm saying is they're gonna take down Harriet Tubman, but they're gonna put back Robert E. Lee. You see what I'm saying? Like, it's not gonna be just enough to say we're not just naming the USS Pride. Like, they're not just gonna do that. They renamed Fort Bragg after a soldier who's not the original Bragg that it was named after, this, because that was like, hey, this motherfucker was a slave owning racist. Okay, well, there was once a soldier named Bragg who went here, no relation, and we'll just name it after him, just so we can wink wink have the racist name back in the docs, you know. And so I think about that when I read this shit. It's like it's not done yet. They're erasing this, but it's not just that they're erasing now. They're erecting new things.
Yes, they are.
Raids
new monuments.
Raids and revenge tips inside ISIS Puerto Rico deportation operation. So this is a long article on NPR, but it goes into a lot of detail about what's happening with the ICE and the Trump administration. They've adopted more aggressive strategies than in past administrations. They're expanding surprise raids at hotels and construction sites, knocking on doors of people with deportation orders and questioning others on the street. She says, and the she is Rebecca Gonzalez Ramos, who runs Immigration and Customs Enforcement Intelligence Office. She says they've asked Puerto Rico Departments of Motor Vehicles to hand over the names and addresses of roughly 6,000 people who got licenses under an immigrant-friendly law that extended driving privileges to people without legal status. They take informant tips from everyday citizens calling in to report on their neighbors. This is aggressive. This is not necessarily based on anything real. Like you and now that we know they will deport you without really checking all the T's and crossing all the T's and
not held accountable,
dotting all the I's.
When they make errors.
Yeah, now that we know they will do that, you aren't going to have people get deported that just literally did everything legally that was correct.
That's the thing.
Even that license thing was okay at the time, but this administration is pursuing people, and they're letting our assumptions guide the excuses, right? Well, then they should be following the law. Well, they're probably just getting rid of bad people. That's all. That's what they want you to think. But the more you look closer at these cases and these tactics, it's like you shouldn't have to do that if somebody's not doing something bad. It shouldn't be jaywalking and you're kicked out the country. But okay.
Right. And you know, and it's one of those things here where you have a lot of American citizens, even a lot of black American citizens, where they think their citizenship is straight. But what they fail to realize, that's what they do. They get the people who you quote unquote think is the other. Even some blacks think, you know, them the others, and they taking our jobs. We bought into that white supremacy shit, and then eventually, what happens when they start questioning your citizenship? What happened when they start going down the tree of your family line? What happened when they be like, well, prove that you are actually from here? You be like, bitch, here's my birth certificate. I don't give a fuck about that birth certificate. I still want you to prove you were here, some shit. So they just make arbitrary shit up. All of a sudden, them immigrants they was kicking out that you turned your back on and you act like it didn't matter. It matters now, but and you looking around and there's nobody here to support you and there's nobody here to stand with you because you didn't help the people that needed the help the most at the time, because you never thought that you would be on the chopping block.
Everyone thinks they're cool until it's them, you know?
Right.
So they've arrested close to 500 immigrants for deportation in the 4 months since Trump returned to power. This is just Puerto Rico, right? At the San Juan office. Fewer than 80 of those people had criminal records. And among those who did, the single charge most faced was for re-entering the United States after a prior deportation. 3/4 of those arrested have been Dominican nationals. Dominicans have immigrated to Puerto Rico for decades, becoming part of the fabric of society as construction workers, domestic helpers, cooks, lawyers, professors, teachers, and police officers. Recent raids have sent terror coursing through Dominican neighborhoods. So.
Yeah, I can see that, and it has to be frightening, and it has to be scared.
Which is the point.
Right. Yeah, that's the whole point. It's frightening and it's scary. And even some other places we go here, we, go in and the people be like, ever since Trump passed them laws, they was like, this motherfucker is be empty. Because a lot of Mexican and construction workers and like a lot of stuff keeps a lot of places alive, and these people are like, well, I can't go to work. They shutting down. They staying in the house, they not going anywhere and things like that. And so it's a whole ass economy built around these people taking lunch breaks, people spending their money, food trucks and shit like that. Like, it's certain areas here in Charlotte where they kind of just, I don't want to say Mexican land, but like it's a lot of Mexicans that live in the area. And so, which is fine with me, but all of a sudden these places aren't as vibrant as they used to be.
Law firms that caved to Trump suddenly lose a lot of big business. So law firms were striking deals with Trump, and major companies now are ditching them. At least 11 large companies, including Morgan Stanley, Microsoft, and Oracle, are cutting ties with law firms that caved to President Trump's threats of political retribution. General counsels for multiple companies told the Journal that the law firms' willingness to cut deals with the president rather than stand up for themselves greatly eroded their confidence in the ability of those firms to represent them in court or in high-pressure negotiations. Yes, yes, yes. Because if you won't stand up for your fucking self when you know you had the law on your side and you got all the money in the world and you got all these big ass clients
and you fucking
and you just like, we scared of the president, fuck it. Understand this: the big major corporations that do business in America are only hiring you in case the president or somebody in the administration does come after them.
Right.
And what they don't want is Donald Trump wakes up one day, decides I'm instituting tariffs, or decides I'm targeting Apple for no reason, or decides fuck Bill Gates, and then I gotta go to my fucking legal counsel and y'all done already bent the knee to this motherfucker. So absolutely no. Y'all, like, in addition to not standing up for yourselves, I can't give you money to stand up for me. Who the fuck are you at this point?
Right. Who are you?
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
And my thing from the beginning, I thought it was fucked up. It's like, basically they came threatening and y'all just folded versus saying, let's take that shit to trial. Y'all lawyers, take that shit to trial, bitch. What are we doing here?
Yeah, the law firms capitulated, offering billions of pro bono work to the Trump administration, allegedly in the name of protecting their clients and their contracts. But multiple lawyers at each firm think that their leadership should have put up a tougher fight. Yeah, people are also leaving the firms.
I can see that too.
Like some of the partners are like, yeah, we good. Like we're not doing it, and
because it makes them look bad.
Yeah, and a couple firms that have decided to strike back did end up losing clients but kept some of their principles intact. Jenner and Block declared in a statement that folding to the Trump administration will require compromising our ability to zealously advocate for all our clients and capitulating to unconstitutional government coercion, which is simply not in our DNA. Yeah, it's just, you know, complying early is not going to save you.
No, it's not. No, it's not. Because if it's going to impact everybody, it's going to impact everybody. But you might as well put up a goddamn fight.
Your boy RFK Jr., he has a Make America Healthy Again commission, and so they put out a report, and it had a lot of errors and wrong data in it.
I bet it did. Was the numbers made up?
I don't know, but it just had a lot of wrong citations. At least 18 of the original report citations have been edited or completely swapped out now because they said, let us put in a new report, because that's how bad the old one was. The new report also has errors.
I bet you it does. Probably shit spelled wrong, run-on sentences.
While some of the original report's inconsistencies have been changed, a few of the new updated citations continue to misinterpret scientific studies.
Yeah, it's on purpose.
They don't care, and they're not smart, and they're not in charge because they know what they're doing. They're in charge because being in charge is the statement, is we can put these idiots in charge of things and you're gonna do what they tell you to do, or you're just gonna have to live under the lies because you let them be in charge. But full of errors still. Donald Trump pardons NBA YoungBoy. Rapper says it opens the door to his future. You know, this is a good time to remind everybody. What happened to the platinum plan? Remember? Ice Cube was like, maybe we should vote for Trump. Okay. Trump did not win the black vote, but he got more black vote this time than he did last time. Right? People encourage us not to vote. Some people stay home. And all this under the auspices of Democrats never do shit for us. Donald Trump gonna give us the platinum plan. Y'all got y'all's platinum check yet? Anybody looked around and seen what black outreach they're doing for the community? Because all I see is what y'all accused the Democrats of doing, falsely accused essentially for the record. But this is pandering with no work.
Everything
like
Trump
letting
does is
NBA YoungBoy get a pardon, letting I forget the drug dealer that they did. How is that helping the black community? How's that even a black cause?
It's not.
The people they hurt are the black community too.
Right.
Like what does it say that they think of our intellect as a culture, that pardoning a rapper is their outreach to black people, as they cut off funds for HBCUs and shit, or as they target initiatives that help black people, like the jobs program, just get rid of it and be like, fuck you and fuck your neighborhood and fuck the people that got jobs and work from this. Fuck y'all black people. But also, I love the blacks. NBA YoungBoy, you're pardoned. You're welcome, buddy. He pled guilty to federal gun charges in Louisiana and Utah, and then Donald Trump gave him a pardon on that. Now, I don't know if he has state charges as well.
Yeah, that's different. You got the state is like, nope.
Yeah. His legal team confirmed the pardon, though they did not submit the application themselves. The 24-year-old artist addressed the news in a statement posted to Instagram.
Yeah, whatever amount Trump said, he paid. Everything for Trump is for
I really
sale.
do feel like these are pay for play.
Yeah, everything. But people fail to realize everything with him is for sale. Trade secrets are for sale.
Yeah.
Military information is for sale. They gave him a whole fucking ass plane. Of course he's for goddamn sale. So, it's like these people getting these pardons, like you say, there's no rhyme or reason. It's irrational and illogical. He gives them a number. They pay the number. He said you got it.
Yeah. He also used an image of dead white farmers, and it came from an image in the Congo, not South Africa, but this is the justification for getting those white South Africans to America, was they killing white people in South Africa.
Not even the same country.
Not even the same country. That shit don't gotta be true. Now, this is where we're gonna end it, because actually I'm gonna get mad when I say this. And I already know I'm gonna get mad. Just telling y'all now. This is the last. This not even a story. It's just something that I can't not be mad about. But the irony of this, Trump does something like that, and the anger's not there. Like, he's lying. He's showing America false information. At worst, he knows he's telling us that, and he's lying to us. Okay. At best, he was confused by some fake information, and he got duped into spreading the lie. Okay. You know who else got duped into spreading the lie like this that harmed people? Joe Biden. Joe Biden shared a picture say he saw a picture of some babies that got killed by Hamas or something. And it turned out that it was wrong. It turned out it was wrong. And everyone castigated that man. But they also questioned his acumen. And they said, well, either he's a fool for being duped by misinformation online, or he's complicit and he's lying to America to try to get us involved in this to co-sign Israel and to make this conflict even more harsh to Palestinians. Okay? All right, cool. Is it just me, or is a president no longer responsible for what happens with Israel and Palestine?
No, they're no longer responsible.
When the fuck did that happen?
As soon as
Because
Trump
we
got
just
in
spent the
office.
better part of a couple of years saying the president of the United States can start or stop that war at any point in time, and that we must put pressure on them in office to completely disavow Israel and stop that war. That's what the fuck we just did. To the point of possibly that might be one of the major reasons that Democrats lost the election. Is because
Agreed.
social media directly tied the two things together. It was not a foreign country doing whatever the fuck they said they was gonna do,
There was no
and
nuance.
being like, man, fuck y'all. I don't care about your ceasefire. I don't care about your like council. I don't care about your peace agreements. Fuck y'all. We are going to kill all these people. And people didn't say, man, that's Israel doing that. They said that's Joe Biden and Kamala Harris doing that, essentially. That's the Democrats doing that. Well, Democrats aren't in power. And everybody was like, that'll teach them. Okay, I guess you taught them a lesson. Where's the coverage every day of this is Donald Trump's doing? Because one thing we do know that he does respond to, even if he doesn't respond to it in the way you like, media attention. If you just keep saying some shit, now he probably gonna come out and say fuck y'all and I don't care and it's not my, it's Joe Biden's fault. But the reason he says it's Joe Biden's fault is because we, the public and the media, will actually sit around and entertain that shit. Like, yeah, it probably is his fault somehow.
Right.
Meanwhile, Trump is doing it right in your fucking face. No magic trick, no sleight of hand. And people are just not mad.
No.
They're just not as mad. And they can pretend that they're as mad. They're fucking lying.
Yes.
You're not as mad. You're not popping up on the man.
Right.
You're not popping up on his party.
I don't see the
You're
shit
not
trending.
marching. You're not dunking on him.
Right.
You're not doing MSNBC and CNN aren't starting every fucking night with like this man is enabling a genocide. It's just not happening.
Right.
You did not keep that same energy.
Nope.
And this is a guy who is directly like, actually, I do support them fucking the people up.
Go kill them all.
I don't give a fuck about a ceasefire or no peace.
And he said that the entire time.
Right, people were making up a version of him that would be like, well, he'll be the one to stop it. Where is everyone? I demand to see your faces. What happened to y'all?
I do too.
Like, when are y'all gonna come up and be like, shit, my bad, dog. I guess we got this one wrong. Like, now it's quiet. Now it's crickets. Now a president is not responsible any longer for another country's actions. Ain't that some shit?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. And like I said, these are things that have always bothered me. And I had to go back and I remember we was talking about NPR earlier and I was talking about the news and things like that. One thing, and you read an NPR article and you were talking about how Trump was cutting their funding. Trump is cutting their funding because they are one of the few, because they're public and not private. So they one of the few places where you can go and they're like, here are the facts, who, what, when, where, and how. And they have people, actually journalists, actually doing their jobs and shit like that. I am a monthly subscriber to NPR, the radio station, and all that stuff. And so, you know, for me, it's one of those things where they were actually covering Trump every day, talking about him. I actually stopped listening to a while because I knew they were doing their job, but my brain, I was like, okay, this is just too much. I know y'all keep me informed, but I just couldn't handle it a lot more than the other places. And like you said, the alarms need to be ringing and they need to continue to ring again. And sometimes I feel gaslit because I remember when all the shit was happening with Biden and things like that, and you would bring up, hey, y'all are not covering Trump and Biden the same, and people act like, nah, that's not true. Bitch, it's true. It's true. You can't tell me otherwise.
Yeah, they're still trying to sell a fucking book about Biden's last days in office.
Bitch, he out of office. Get out of here.
Trump is opening up a investigation into the pardons Biden did to say that somehow they don't count because they were done with an auto pen. Allegedly, which may not even be true, and we do know that Trump did his with an auto pen. Trump is like Drake in that everything he accuses somebody of doing is just some shit he did.
Right.
You know, I'm suing y'all because y'all boosting his sales by offering a discount to Spotify. Wait, Drake, weren't you leading the sales charge for 10 years in a row? Huh? What? Nah. That's what the fuck Trump doing. Anyway, I am mad. Fuck it. Let's just get the fuck out of here. God damn it.
P. Diddy be wanting the body. And you gotta tell him no.
All right. Diddy music and Diddy news. All right. Where do I start? He's reportedly raking in millions of dollars while locked up, but renting out his own private jet. So I guess since he can't use it, he in jail.
Somebody else is using
That's
it.
redundant. So it's like, hey, anybody want to rent out my jet? My thing is, why is that not part of the crime scene? Like, is this not evidence?
That's a valid question.
I feel like it's got to be some baby oil up in there or something.
Something happening.
Probably just slide off the seats up in that bitch.
Yeah, fucking slip and slide.
He's renting out his $60 million private jet since September 2024. The Gulfstream G550 has reportedly taken off 126 times over the past few months, racking up about 150,000 miles in the sky, with a single trip costing over $32,000. The venture has allegedly earned more than $4 million. And you know he's lost a lot of his worth since being locked up and giving away all the rights to the streaming and shit, or the music catalogs back to the artists.
Right, and I remember you was talking about that before all this shit went down. We was like, this sounds fishy. Like you literally can't profit off of it anymore, and you're giving this away. And it, like, why? Like, why now?
Like, be quiet. I gave y'all something. Now don't be testifying against me. I don't
know.
Stylish Deontay Nash testifies Diddy left Cassie bloody after an attack, then said, "Look what y'all made me do." So he said he heard her threatening her, including statements like "I'll beat your ass," and threats to shelve her music or get her parents fired. He also revealed that every outfit she wore needed to be pre-approved by him, indicating the levels of control he allegedly exerted over her. But it was the violent incident that he said he saw when she was asleep on the couch and Combs stormed in, dragged her by her hair, started hitting her. Nash, along with Combs' assistant at the time, referred to in the court as Mia, tried to intervene and rushing the Ventura in the bedroom and attempted to lock the door. Combs allegedly forced his way in, continued the attack, hitting and kicking Ventura. Also, he struck her head on a bed frame. When he noticed the blood, he just panicked, Nash told the court. He said Combs didn't blame the group, saying, "Look what y'all made me do." Nash said he tried to call 911, but someone told him to hang up before the call connected. The next day, Nash saw Ventura on the video call with a gash near her eyebrow and visible stitches. He testified Combs sent her to a plastic surgeon with a security guard.
Oof.
Imagine that level of control on a person and monitoring someone. You sent her to get healed from your abuse with a security guard to make sure she ain't tell, and to a plastic surgeon, not to a doctor. This man had a lot of money and a lot of connections, keeping this woman under bond, essentially, allegedly, according to all this, right? Cassie, meanwhile, had her baby, number 3, with her husband Alex Fine during all this. Like, she testified.
Wow.
Yeah, she testified in court, and I think 2 weeks later she delivered her child. And you know, her husband like put out a statement, like, people talking about like congratulating me saying I saved her. That's not true. She saved herself, blah blah blah. Like he's a real stand-up dude. That none of this has fazed him. I think the way that people publicly care and judge the imagery of a woman like Cassie, not just her attractiveness, but just this idea of this tainted woman. He's like, nah, like like, I understand everything about her and I love her, period. That's it.
Yes, sir.
What I think is also interesting in these stories, though, a couple angles. First of all, 50 Cent. There's so many people in the industry and in life and on social media that really, I don't know for the love of me why they hold 50 Cent in a cherished place. That maybe it's just because I never got into like the reality TV of it all. I don't know what it is, honestly. But I look, I like Get Rich or Die Trying as much as the next person. Like, it's not even like some hate.
Nope.
I just feel like he somehow gets away with being a reprehensible person. And people really laugh that shit off in some type of way that I don't understand. Maybe it's just a troll culture or something. All I'm saying is this, though. He will go on social media and make crazy accusations about Diddy, but only because he does not like Diddy.
Right.
Like, I don't think it makes him he has his own abuse accusations. He has his own scandals. He has his own doing people wrong, fucking with people that work for him on his TV shows. Like, he has his own shit about him. If some cases or some women came forward on 50 Cent, I wouldn't feel any more surprised than Diddy at this point with just the way he's talked and acted. But he was clowning Diddy at the prosecutors dropped a binder headshot showing 13 male escorts allegedly involved in the freak-off sex parties. Where the fuck are the women, 50 wrote on Instagram, posting the images of men reportedly hired for these sex sessions with Cassie Ventura that she testified about in court. And the whole point is 50 Cent from day one, people have been trying to be like, 50 tried to tell us. 50 Cent has just been making homophobic points about Diddy.
Yes.
He don't care about this abuse shit. It's
no.
always been Diddy is gay. That's it. And I hate that people even try to act like he is giving them some deeper, like if you want to say he's petty and it's just funny, fine. Trying to act like he was some sort of warrior for some level of like justice or for women or speaking up in the industry. He just thinks it's funny that the dude also had sex with men. That's it. And the other reason I think that's interesting is today a story dropped where he shut down a $20 million abuse lawsuit with a bankruptcy filing. So he had filed for bankruptcy a while ago to not pay the people that were winning judgments with him, against him in court. And he was trolling, meaning he would say, I don't have any money. And then he post pictures on Instagram of him in a closet full of cash and shit like that. Like, ha, ha, ha. Even though I leaked your sex tape to the internet or I harassed you or whatever, I'm not going to pay you. And I do have the money, but legally I'm going to say I don't have the money. I think it was like maybe Tierra Marie or something like that. Either way, there was a woman who was accusing him of abuse and suing him and so he had to bring up that he had already filed for bankruptcy in 2017 with a reorganization plan, and in that filing, those supposedly some of her accusations and stuff were addressed, meaning that you can't continue to like bring this up. And so she's like disregarding that judgment and being like, I'm gonna bring him up in this state. And so of course he shut it down or his legal team shut it down by re-bringing up the bankruptcy case. Got thrown out. But my point being, this is the kind of shit that when Diddy does shit like that, we was like, see, shady motherfucker right there getting accused of some shit, and he shut it down. Always slippery getting away. We all knew the whole time. But with 50, it's like, nah, it's just 50 being 50. It's just funny. It's just funny, man. It's like no one's learning shit from this other than this guy's on the Summer Jam screen right now.
Yep.
A couple more stories. Diddy's $100,000 cash bribery plot for Cassie assault video was exposed in testimony. He paid that security guard allegedly in the Los Angeles hotel to bury the surveillance footage that showed him attacking Cassie. So Garcia said the mogul personally pressured him to retrieve the video, calling him Eddie my angel and warning that the footage could ruin his career. Garcia testified that he initially received a call from Christina Coram, then an employee of Diddy, who asked if he had access to the video. After Garcia told her to speak with hotel management, she went to property in person. Garcia said he eventually revealed to her off the record that it's bad. Garcia said Diddy later called him directly, pleading for the footage and offering help in return. When Garcia said he didn't have access to the server, the disgraced mogul allegedly responded that he believed Garcia could make it happen and promised to take care of him. Garcia said he then contacted his supervisor, Bill Medrano, who agreed to retrieve the video for $50,000. Garcia said he relayed the offer to Coram, who patched in Diddy. The mogul allegedly responded, I knew you could do it. Let's do it right away. So they gave him a USB drive. Like the security guard got the USB drive from Medrano. Garcia said he then arranged to meet Diddy at a high rise in West Los Angeles, where he was greeted by a bodyguard and eventually brought upstairs to meet him. Keep in mind, allegedly Diddy held on to this video after he got it. Like, he didn't destroy it. And Cassie said he would like watch it and taunt her with it, right? Garcia said Diddy requested identification from everyone involved, including the responding officer. He then presented non-disclosure agreements with $1 million in liquidated damages. Garcia said he was earning $10.50 an hour at the time and did not receive a copy of the non-disclosure agreement. Garcia testified that Diddy counted the money using a machine, stacking $10,000 at a time until it reached $100,000. Cash, he said, was handed to him in a brown paper bag. Diddy allegedly told him not to make any large purchases and walked him to his car. So that's the details of how that went down. Now here's the last two stories. Bill Maher has basically he talked about this on his show, the Diddy trial.
Okay.
And he basically victim blamed Cassie. He said the rule should be, I guess in his new rules, if you're being abused, you gotta leave right away. Ventura testified last month, about all this shit. And he basically was on some like, it's your fault too, because you, in some of these texts, you had enthusiastic consent. Now, I just want people to realize, because I know a lot of people are going to say that. Most of y'all have never been abused. So it's very easy for you to have no empathy. This is why I say I'm an empath. Most of y'all are not empaths. And that's fine. I understand. It's actually not as dope and lauded as people think it is. It actually kind of sucks. But here's how my empathy informs me in this scenario. And maybe it can help some people out there. If a man beats you in front of witnesses and no one tells the police, and then you get stitches, but only under the supervision of a bodyguard who he sends with you to a plastic surgeon who also doesn't inform anyone, and then you're doing a video call the next day and people can see stitches on your face and no one's going to ask you shit. The odds of that person texting you anything and you just texting back like, man, fuck you, I do what I want, are extremely low.
Right.
There's nothing you do that's not under duress. Nothing. Whether you're in that person's presence or not.
Agreed.
The bravest thing she did was bring that lawsuit at the end, right before the deadline would have been dismissed. Like, that's that. Like,
and his refusal to pay is what broke the dam.
Yes,
right.
Like that statute. That, like, I don't think most people can conceive of the bravery that Cassie Ventura navigates this earth with. I don't think they can. Because, and part of it is privilege, right? If you just ain't never had nobody be that evil towards you,
right? That abusive.
You think it's very simple. It's, hey, well, just leave the job.
They think it's simple.
All of it adds up. All of it. It's not a one-time thing. I hear you. You would like to think all of us like to think of ourselves as very strong people, that very principled people, that the first time we see something wrong, we are just fucking out. Like, oh, no, not me. But that's not the truth for most people.
It's not.
There's so, like, when I worked at Game Theory, it was so telling because Bomani is one of the best people I've ever worked with, and he's very fair and judicious and very self-aware, right? And that's what I appreciate about the brother. But one of the things I noticed was how much people talked about their expectations of a level of like privilege that Bomani would be walking around with. Not because they know anything about Bomani. Most of them didn't know Bomani more than just, I got a job on a TV show.
Right.
It's the expectation of when your name's on the TV show, you get to kind of do what the fuck you want. So if Bomani wants to show up late, he shows up late. Bomani wants to be a mean, rude asshole to people, he gets to be a mean, rude asshole to people. If Bomani wants to, throw out everything everybody wrote and say, I'm doing it my fucking self, he can do that. If he wants to cuss you out in front of everybody, he could do that. He didn't do that. I've never seen him do anything like that. You weren't there, but I was there. I'm just telling you,
right.
0 times I see it. There wasn't, he wasn't in there like trying to holler at all the chicks in the office. But I know people that consider that to be normal. Tavis Smiley got caught up in some shit like that.
He did. Lost his job.
My name's on the thing. Why can't I just holler at chick? What? That's wrong?
Yes,
like,
that's an employee.
The point is, it becomes so normalized to have that privilege. Who the fuck am I? I'm gonna go to HR. It's the reason that, and I'm not trying to throw Tavis Smiley on the bus here, but I'm saying it's the reason that Tavis Smiley got fired is because it's so normal. No one's saying shit really. HR ain't doing shit really, that by the time Me Too comes around, there's 5 women. Well, now it seems like you're just a serial philanderer who wages his power and his position at this company to try to get in women's draws. That may or may not even be how it felt or how it seemed to go down, but in totality, that's how it's going to look now because it's normalized. And at the time, you're not getting people going, I quit on the spot. Fuck you. That's not how it works.
Because they need them jobs.
Okay, but imagine if you really were seeing abuse and then nothing happened. No one did anything. Usher watched a woman get punched in the stomach at dinner. You just an intern. And Usher didn't do shit. I guess I'm not doing shit. That's how it works. And That's if you're the intern. If you're the woman being punched, you definitely don't think shit going, like, you can't get away. There was a fucking tape. The people were obligated to do the right thing. Go to authorities. This should have been over years ago.
Agreed.
Hey, we have Puff Daddy fucking attacking somebody on a goddamn tape, on film, in 4K. Like, that's it. Open and shut case. Police, come get him.
Right.
No one did anything because his reach and his money was that long. His power was that long.
Yes, fear and being scared and just not wanting to get involved.
So for bitch ass Bill Maher, who went to the White House and sucked Trump's dick and came back and told us how good it tastes, to act like someone else's fear, someone else's lack of courage in that moment is disgusting to him. It's gotta be a new rule. Like, our whole country isn't being abused by a narcissist in chief, and he ain't at the fucking table like an intern trying to tell us he was nice to me. You bitch. How dare you? So it's just funny to see somebody that as cowardly as that try to act like this little sarcastic ass bullshit that he said, because I know he said it in his Bill Maher sarcasm way, but to act like there's any bravery attached to him. Bravery to him is capitulating to the right and then being like, I'm brave because some Democrats don't like that I did that. That's what's brave for him. He's brave like Joe Rogan or somebody like that doing a fucking show in front of a conservative crowd and being like, they're gonna cancel me for this room full of people paying for my comedy and not canceling me at all, and I'm going on tour and I'm famous and I got the #1 podcast in the world. Boy, am I brave. I'm the only one to tell you like it is, guys. Let me tell you, the 2% of this country that's trans, that's the real problem, and I'm the only one brave enough to say it about them 2% of people who I'll never meet or say anything to me.
Right.
Fuck you, dog. Shut the fuck up. But yeah, he's not alone. You know, I'm sure he's not the only person to talk like this of all these rich and famous men that you know, have decided that it's time for them to weigh in.
Right.
On this.
We ain't had nothing to say no other time.
Right. But yeah, it's just a whole fucking coward, man. And how dare you? And then so that's Bill Maher. And then there's this clip, which I'll play for y'all. But it's Cameron. You know, the rapper Cameron.
Does that podcast?
He has a podcast
with
now.
Mace.
Yeah, it's called, I think It Is What It Is or something like that. So he was interviewing one of the sex workers that was hired by Diddy for these freak offs, and he had this to say.
Tito.
Oh, sorry. And it is disgusting, but I'm sorry. I have to play it.
How was that pussy though?
He asked him, how was that pussy though?
I mean, bro, even if it was fire.
Bro, was the pussy good, family? Let's stop with political shit. We was Harlem time, my nigga. You 39th Street on 40th. Was the pussy, how was that pussy, my nigga?
Bro, I'm going to be honest with you, man. I couldn't get there, bro.
Okay.
Like, I got a dude pacing back and forth, beating his joint, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
My peripherals, my spider senses is wilding, you know what I'm saying? And especially when I found out it was Puff. When I found out it was Puff, it got all the way worse, because if you grew up in Harlem, if you grew up in that era, I can't validate it, but everybody knows there's rumors, right? There's rumors that he could be, you know, interested in dudes. So the whole time I'm semi-paranoid. Like I wrote in my book, bro, for real, I got a hearing problem. Right. And sometimes when he would give her directions, I would hear like something completely different. Like he'll.
None of this sounds sexy, by the way. It just sounds like a complete power move. The man is scared. Cassie's scared.
Right. Everybody in the room scared.
Sex isn't even really happening. Like, it's about control and abuse and power. But the point being, Cameron, what I think is so interesting, Cameron, another like 50 Cent, right? Like, esteemed place in hip hop. People love him. Some people I'm sure will bemoan this, and they'll be watching his show again tomorrow. You know, like I'm not even really calling them out. I'm just saying that's how that's how much of a fixture in the culture he is, right? Now, I just watched people for the better part of 2 weeks call out the dude from Grits and Eggs for being a traitor to black people, op trying to start gender wars in the community. Is that gonna happen for Cameron? Is anyone gonna say he's a op? Is anyone gonna, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't see much difference between what he talking about and Bill Maher talking about.
Right.
And couching it in I'm an ignorant nigga from Harlem, that don't mean nothing to me. Like, that means nothing, dog. So okay, so you ignorant. You still also are running this show. You ignorant until it's time to get a check.
Right.
Then you a savvy media mogul that knows exactly what you doing. Like, the ignorance thing is always a cop-out for these dudes. To be like, oh, man, I'm just a nigga from Harlem. Like, just can it, bro. You know that was inappropriate. You wanted that viral moment. You wanted that content. And you got the click. You got the content. But it's just disgusting in the way that I'm disgusted by Bill Maher. You know, same shit to me.
And I'm going to say this. I appreciate that dude not really answering the question. It was like, I'm not really going to answer that. Like, it was other shit that I actually want to talk about that's a lot more important than that stupid ass question that you just asked me. And I appreciate him literally moving on and talking about the other shit that was happening in the room.
It's really irrelevant and not the point. And honestly, you just want me to look like a piece of shit too.
And he realized that, right?
Yeah, you want us to be pieces of shit together. You want me to say something disgusting like, oh, it was fire, man. That pussy was so good. You want him to say that.
And laugh and joke about it when not trying to fun. He's like, I'm scared I might be a victim too. Like, what are we doing here, sir?
Yeah, that's why it's hard to, like, champion these guys. You know what I mean? It's, so yeah, it's just ridiculous. All right, that's enough of that Diddy shit. Let's see what else we can talk about. Let me do a little bit of LGBTQ news. How about that? Why am I having problems? Oh, there we go.
Let me see what you want to be. You better move your body. You better move your feet. And I want to groove. Show me what's cool. Riding, caring, baby. LGBTQ news. We're trying to take us down, but we still around. We lit. We're trying to steal a shine, but we on the ride. We lit. But you can't do what we're about to do. We lit. Black guys, tips. LGBTQ news.
Unhinged GOP officials rage about LGBTQ plus people performing ritual child sacrifice during Pride.
What? That is not a true statement.
Indiana Lieutenant Governor Micah Beckwith issued an unhinged statement on social media expressing his outrage that Pride Month was once again allowed to happen. The rainbow beast is coming for your kids, he wrote in a Pride Month alert he posted on social media. His alert,
was it alert in rainbow colors?
Someone said this. It's Keith Malley. Keith Malley from Keith and the Girl said this, and I always think about this because it's forever true. If you truly did believe this, that this is what's happening that gay people are doing this to kids, that Pride Month is full of just all the stuff that I'm about to read, right? And let me tell you what it is. Child targeting, libraries hosting drag shows for toddlers, schools replacing math with 57 plus gender ideologies, and corporations selling pride-themed cereal toys to normalize unthinkable. Institutional surrender, churches flying rainbow flags over communion tables, HR departments enforcing pronoun cults, and Disney Nickelodeon pushing Gomorrah storytelling. Pagan conquest is the ritual child sacrifice with glitter and hashtag give us the children. Why it matters. Schools now prioritize DEI indoctrination, blah, 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 right? If you truly believe they're sacrificing children, you are not mad enough.
Ain't that the truth?
That's how you know they full of shit. Because if you truly thought, man, they had Pride killing children, they just out here sacrificing, you would not be like, and I put a hot tweet out about it because that's what I do to let people know. I do not play that shit. I will tweet about your murders of children.
It is not happening because it's against the law.
Yeah, not just it's against the law. Fuck, I mean, killing children is always against the law. Right. But I'm saying it's not happening.
Agreed.
Period. And they know it's not happening.
Right.
It's the, because if that stuff was happening, if your child was going to school, a boy, coming home, a girl, and there was nothing you could do about it, motherfuckers be getting shot at school. That's just how it would work.
Yes.
This is not a very sophisticated country. They wouldn't be like, oh, well, I guess I'll be taking you to the lawyer. I'll just be going to Facebook to post my outrage. No. Someone would show up to school, a teacher would get killed, or somebody would get shot, and we'd be like, oh, damn, they apparently are
really doing that
giving
shit.
children surgeries to convert their genitalia at school without the permission of the parents. It's not happening.
It's not happening.
So anyways, the fact that this is an elected official and it's not immediately disqualifying for office, like you just
agreed,
like they is like you're not even getting called to resign. It's just a thing that happened yesterday, and we moved to the next day. Texas Republicans passed bill to ban LGBTQ plus student clubs in schools.
The clubs.
Yes, so like if you had a school pride club at your school, you know how you have all kinds of clubs at school, the photography club,
and sometimes they have clubs where they kind of combine. It was like the straight and gay club, or
alliance,
alliances, yes,
and they're banning them. They have passed a bill banning students from forming LGBTQ plus focus clubs like GSAs in schools, and have gay straight alliances, and have sent it to the governor's desk. Democratic lawmakers, of course, denounced the bill, but if Republicans had a majority, then it's probably going to pass. And if I'm not mistaken, isn't there Governor Abbott? Yeah, Greg Abbott. So it's going to pass. He's not going to veto this bill at all. Let's see. How about this one? Anti-LGBTQ plus activist acts from Kennedy Center job after homophobic and racist comments revealed. Was it mad he said it out loud? It's the Kennedy Center under Trump. Like, seem like I'm you know what? I don't feel bad for him, but I definitely understand why he would be confused
and lost.
He like, I can't tweet the same shit we be saying in there. Nah, not out loud, player. We got to keep it on the low.
They don't treat us the same.
Yeah, his firing followed a CNN investigation documenting his racist and homophobic statements, including calling homosexuality a punishment upon America and condemning the legality of gay sex. He's also falsely claimed that President Barack Obama was a Muslim, and promoted conspiracy theories about him having a forged birth certificate, which also Trump did accuse him. No one knows who hired him. It's unclear, but he was fired. Rick Grinnell, the gay director.
No one knows who hired him.
Rick Grinnell, the gay director of the Kennedy Center, who was installed in his post after Trump fired the center's top leadership, claimed he had not met with Brown, did not know him, and was not involved in his hiring. It's funny because I'm assuming that person has to be a gay Republican, or else Trump would not have appointed that person to that office.
Agreed.
So it's funny how there was like, now you can't be saying homophobic stuff about me. Come on, I work here. If you want to say homophobic stuff like that, be president. But yeah, so they let him go. It's weird you can even do anything to be let go from the Kennedy Center under Trump, other than like be black, a woman, or like a gay person that's not with the bullshit. But here's some good news.
Okay.
Federal prisons must keep providing hormone therapy to transgender inmate, according to a judge.
For now, yes.
For now.
Yay.
Yeah. So that's some good news. Federal Bureau of Prisons must continue to provide hormone therapy and social accommodations to hundreds of transgender inmates following an executive order signed by President Donald Trump that led to a disruption in medical treatment. So there must have been people not getting their hormones and stuff for the last however many months. Because that's what Trump does.
Yeah.
And then the law moves at its speed, and then you got to deal with consequences on the back end. U.S. District Judge Royce Lamberth, maybe related to Chris, I don't know, said in his ruling, a federal law prohibits prison officials from arbitrarily depriving inmates of medication and other lifestyle accommodations that the Bureau's own medical staff has deemed appropriate. The judge said the transgender inmates who sued to block Trump's executive order are trying to lessen the personal anguish caused by their gender dysphoria, the distress that a person feels because their assigned gender and gender identity don't match. In light of the plaintiff's largely personal motives for undergoing gender-affirming care, neither the BOP nor the executive order provides any serious explanation as to why the treatment modalities covered by the executive order or implementing memoranda should be handled differently than any other mental health intervention. The Bureau, Trump and him like, if we could we gonna take back the mental health intervention too. Just give us a second. We don't want to help anybody.
We don't want to help anybody.
The Bureau of Prisons is providing hormone therapy to more than 600 inmates diagnosed with gender dysphoria. The Bureau doesn't dispute that gender dysphoria can cause severe side effects, including depression, anxiety, and suicidal thoughts, the judge said. So that's good for now. Like you said, everything feels like for now.
Yep.
You know,
it's like it's on pause until somebody press play.
Yeah, you just look up and be like, "Oh shit, it's back already."
It's back.
Let's see. What else do I want to talk about? You know what? Let's do some gender wars again.
Okay,
that was fun yesterday. See if we can keep that streak going. You never know. You never know.
It's a hit. You'll never know.
We're going to war. Gender war. There's a war going on outside. Gender war. There's a war going on outside. Gender war.
All right, gender wars. Let's see what is happening here. Let me click on one of these. It's funny because I never have a description of these because I just save the social media link and Pocket doesn't give you the description. So I just really be clicking at random to see like what's gonna be the thing.
See what happens.
Yeah. So let me make sure that I got the right one. Let's see. Prime example of men who date. Prime example of men who date females for looks and a nice body to show off to their friends and family members. You deserve females like this one because you have zero interest on finding out the morals these females grew up with. Zero worries on what type of mindset these females have before dating them. She can't love you if she don't love your blessings from God. Okay, so I'm just gonna tell you right now.
Oh no.
I'm gonna tell you right now. I have not watched this, but that's a great caption. That is an amazing caption. That motherfucker said females 57 times.
Yes, he did.
And it's 2025, so you know better. That's a choice.
Yes, that's a choice.
You wanted us to read females and or whoever Vasquez Anna is. She wanted us to read females and be like, "Oh, it's a woman too." That's even better. A woman is leaving the caption, so now she gonna get all the like, "You pick me." Ass da da da. Now the only issue is I see 3,700 shares, but I only see 2 comments.
Oh, that's not good.
Did she turn the comments off? Maybe
may have.
Because how do you only have 2 comments?
Yeah.
Let's see all comments. I would smack the comment sense back into okay. All right. Yeah. No. So maybe she got it so you can't see all the comments. But okay. All right. Let's get to the real though. Let's see what happens. Oh, let me turn the volume up. Sorry. So it looked like maybe she's sitting in the bed eating Popeyes or something.
It's somebody else.
What's up, Zion?
Yeah, she's eating Popeyes sitting on the bed, and it seemed like maybe someone else was in the bed.
Okay. Yes.
Okay. So the guy's recording himself. He's someone holding the phone is recording this. She also has a bodycon dress on, if that matters.
What's up? I got this one.
Oh, the baby is in the bed sleep, like laying awake while she's eating the Popeyes next to the baby who's laying in the bed. Okay.
I hope the baby already ate.
I wonder if the person holding the phone is the daddy.
Probably is.
You got Play-Doh?
Yeah.
Where's the rest of your Play-Doh?
Yeah.
What you eating on, baby? Popeyes. What he ate today?
Oh, so he says, what did the kid eat today? And then she says, I don't know. It takes another bite of chicken.
Oh, no.
Now, I have to say, at this point, I mean, if it wasn't obvious before, gotta be fake. 100% fake. But I do like her acting. I like that. That acting choice of, and then bite a piece of chicken. That was good. Okay. That was some good comedic timing right there. Y'all thought about this thing when y'all wrote this.
I ate rice.
What do you mean? What he ate? I mean, you don't know what he ate.
Rice. You gave him rice before you left.
Just rice? Just the rice we fried? Baby,
you gave him.
What time is it?
10:49.
Baby, I went to work at 1 o'clock.
Now his caption is, she bought food and didn't give my son anything, and this was her excuse. It feels like she's not even his baby mama, so maybe she's just a date in this scenario.
Yeah, right.
He also did the not Bitmoji, but that Apple emoji thing, where he's shaking got his hand covering his face like he's shaking his head. So, lots of art.
I know.
So what did he eat the rest of the day?
He just told you rice.
Say, what you ate?
I ate rice.
What? So where's this? You got him some food, right?
Got what? You some food?
Me and him.
No.
What do you mean, no?
No, I didn't.
So why are you sitting
You
here?
should make sure you got some. Actually, you at work. When you left, you got some food, and you got some food.
What the? Hold on. I really hope you playing right now.
Another reason this is fake. She is done to the nines. Like her hair, makeup, everything on point. He did not bust up in the bedroom and catch her grubbing. And, you know what I'm saying? Unawares, and then start recording her. No. She would never let herself be on camera looking like that.
Of course not.
No, hold on. You ain't just go get food and not feed my son while I was at work this whole time. You ain't never just go do that. Don't ever tell me you just did that. Tell me you playing right now.
What?
That belt.
She drank her drink and
That's hilarious.
Oh man, that's good.
Playing about what?
So just because he's not your son mean you don't gotta feed him? You stepped up as a...
Okay, you know what? It's a good Tubi level effort to me. Like, I'm not saying it's masterpiece theater, obviously. I at no point did I believe, they didn't fool me into believing like maybe. But I'm not gonna hate. I think there was a good effort. Anyway, Karen, what would you give it 0 to 10 for your gender wars? And of course, we're judging based on how good the content is, not obviously whether we agree with or not with these people involved.
This gets about between a 3 to a 4. Not really that high. It's several things. The quality was low, like the quality of the camera was low. You know what I'm saying? Maybe it was just me, because it seemed like they walked in, shit was hanging from the ceiling. So
you wanted like a handheld, like a stage scene that looked more, because I prefer the guerrilla style. Okay. If you want to trick me into thinking it's real, you need to have it less, like the less authentic, like the more authentic it feels, the less prepared it is. So for me, I thought my problem is they only went half with it.
I can see that.
She should have been in a bonnet.
Yeah.
Like nothing about her should have made you think, man, she's kind of hot. Like you should have been thinking like, this bitch laid up with his kid, not feeding the baby. Like that's how you should have felt. So anyway, I keep going. I'm sorry.
Because she was funny, and also the recording was low. Like I think, I don't know if they need the microphones or people need to speak a little louder, but just so you could.
Once again, those things add to the authenticity for me.
Okay.
The too prepared, the sound too good. I'm like, this is not real. It did not happen.
Right.
This is fake. If me and you started arguing about something and I pulled out my phone, the sound quality is going to be low.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, what are we going to get? Stage hair, makeup, mic. So I think I would not knock it for these things, but I'm not disputing your score. I'm just offering my thoughts as well.
Yes, and like I said, and maybe because my thing, and also the energy, his energy was higher than hers. So that's another reason why I bumped it up. Like he actually bought like the level of energy that you need if you're trying to bump it up to a gender war.
I thought that was on purpose, as she was being like, I'm being nonchalant.
Okay.
I don't care about you or your baby eating.
Right.
I'm grubbing on my chicken and I'm unbothered. But that doesn't dispute your point, which is I do wonder if you did another take of this where she actually matched his energy and was yelling in front of that baby and shit. I feel like that goes way more viral.
I do too. And that's why my score is like a little bit lower, because at first I was like a 5, and then I was like, nah, I don't deserve a 5. That's why I said about a 3.5 to a 4.
Yeah, I give it,
because we've seen worse.
I'm gonna give it a 5. And the reason I'm gonna give it a 5 is because I thought it was funny. I thought it was actually thought out, but they may have overthought it. I really think she should have been dressed down if she really wanted to sell us that this was real.
Yes.
Hate to knock him for this, but the baby's acting was not good.
Oh no,
the child was not ready for.
Yeah,
for the
you'd have been better off just not having a baby there.
If the baby would have just been asleep or something the whole time, I feel like you get a better, like, the idea of the baby is more important than the baby.
Agreed.
That baby was too good and not on script, on note. The baby reached for some chicken at one point.
Yes, the baby did.
The baby did not understand the assignment.
No, the
baby
didn't
was sound like it was in the middle
baby was like,
of
what you eat? Rice? What you eat? Rice? Baby like, I actually want some of this chicken she eat. No.
The baby didn't even seem like, what? Why y'all arguing again? Like, the baby was not stressed out.
The baby was being the baby.
Like, the baby was almost too real. Like, they needed to prep that baby to be like, listen, we're about to do a fake fight. I need you to be fake upset, so that
the baby was
that baby knew that was the act of a baby that knew it was actually gonna get some chicken when they stopped filming.
You know they promised that baby. They was like, as soon as we do this little skit, we gonna give you a piece of chicken.
That baby was not acting hungry.
No, it wasn't.
It was not upset that it got rice only.
No. Baby wasn't crying from hunger. Cause child, you said you got home at 11 o'clock. That baby ain't ate since 1.
Right.
That baby would have been having a fucking fit.
Yeah, that baby was chilling too hard.
That baby would have been crying and screaming and fussing.
So I hate to knock it for the baby, but
I'm with you, baby.
Because the baby seemed, honestly,
seemed adorable.
The baby seemed like it was like y'all, whoever these people, I don't even know if y'all are really in a relationship, but whatever was happening, that baby seemed like it was in a good place.
That baby was not in a place where it felt like it was gonna be harmed.
Compared to one of the original gender wars where the dude showed up with McDonald's just for his kid and the other 3 kids he wasn't gonna give none.
Yes.
Them babies felt like they was in the struggle.
Yes, they did.
Them babies was looking at him like, nah, but for real, where the rest of the nuggets? Like, what the fuck? Like, you do this every day. This baby didn't give me that.
No, this was a well taken care of baby.
So maybe they fucked up by including the baby.
Yeah, and know what? They probably did feed the baby rice right before, so the baby wouldn't lie and be like, I just ate some chicken. They was like, what did you eat? Rice.
Right.
What did you eat? Rice.
If you keep asking questions, you're gonna find out it's dirty rice from
Popeyes.
Yes. And then they say you can have the chicken afterwards.
Right, you would fuck around. The baby was like, yeah, I had a biscuit too. Shut up, baby.
So that's the reason I can't give it a higher thing. Also, I don't think they should have did this, but if you wanted to make it better, you probably should have cussed in front of the baby. Acting ignorant in front of a baby is a 1,000% chance to go viral on the internet. Okay,
and you might have got a real version of that baby shocked.
Now the problem is CPS might have showed up to y'all house.
Yes.
And you might have gotten some real trouble behind this sketch. So I'm glad you didn't do it.
I'm glad you didn't do it, not for our sake.
A real fucked up household would be like, you ain't see my fucking son, bitch, and then she was like, nigga, you done did it, and then it would have been so ignorant.
Yes.
So I think you got something on your lip, Karen. But I don't know what happened. It's laughing too hard.
I probably was.
But is that rice? Anyway.
It might be shit.
So yeah, 5 out of 10 for me. All right, let's get into
probably was lunch.
Let's get into guess the race, and then we'll get out of here. Where's my guess the race music? You know what? Let's use this one. This time for guess the race. 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 All right, guess the race time. Go around the globe, find different articles, try to guess the race of the people involved. Karen plays along, and we'll see how my internet holds up. We're trying to figure something out here, guys. And this is where my internet always gets a little shaky.
A little wonky.
On my screen, Karen starts looking a little blurry, but that really in real life, it means I'm blurry, I think.
I think that's what it means.
We'll see what happens when we submit it to the people this time. The fast food Decatur burger assembler who reacted to criticism of his technique by wounding the restaurant manager with a kitchen knife, has taken a plea deal. Emmanuel S. Wiggins Jr., 24 years old, admitted a charge of aggravated battery when he appeared in Macon County Circuit Court. A further charge of aggravated battery with a deadly weapon was dismissed by Judge Phoebe Bowers. No sentence was imposed, and the judge said she was postponing any punishment to allow Wiggins a chance to complete the mental health court program. This will keep him out of the regular justice system and could see him emerge with a clean record if he complies with the mandated treatment and other court rules. The judge holds the threat of imposing punishment such as custodial sentence if Wiggins fails to complete the mental health court requirement. He was due back in court for a status hearing on Tuesday. So apparently this happened at Dairy Queen Grill and Chill restaurant. You can name other shit Dairy Queen.
Is Dairy Queen do a combo? What is this?
I didn't know you could do that. I
didn't know we was chilling at the Dairy Queen.
That's like me being like, oh, come on down to the Applebee's Pizza Palace.
That don't make sense.
So you can't just add words and be like, this some different shit. You know how many motherfuckers done?
Dairy Queen and Lounge. What is this?
You know how many motherfuckers done went to the goddamn Waze app and thought they was getting Dairy Queen and showed up and was like, fuck is this?
You know they was confused as shit.
Dairy Queen Grill and Trail. Grill and Chill.
That's I came for Dairy Queen. Why am I getting grilled steak?
I like a blizzard. We don't got blizzards, man. Okay, we got typhoons. The affidavit said the manager.
We got light rain.
Yeah, we got thunderstorms. You want a thunderstorm? Is it like a blizzard? Not really. It's actually liquid. We just stir it up real fast and give it to you.
We got partially cloudy.
Yeah.
With a chance of rain.
You got a chance of ice cream in this bitch.
Rain. Who knows what you're going to get?
The affidavit said the manager of the business had been stabbed, suffering 2 small puncture wounds, sound like a shanking, and also sustained additional lacerations and abrasions after Wiggins attacked him in the kitchen. Wiggins became extremely angry when the manager corrected him on a burger he made wrong. Like, hey, man, you know it's supposed to go with pickles. And he's like, oh, you know what? Stab.
Oh, no.
Wiggins threatened to kill him and grab one of the knives in the kitchen hanging on the wall. He said Wiggins attacked him with the knife, swinging it at him and striking him with approximately 3 times in the left side and back area. Wiggins had been quoted as telling the police the manager was lucky he didn't kill him. Oh, he want to go to jail. The defendant, who had been held in custody since...
He had planned on going to jail. He was like, I'm going to jail today.
Yeah. His alarm went off that morning. He said, ding, ding, going to jail in a few hours.
Right.
He was released from the jail at the May 21st court hearing, and as part of his conditions for participating in the mental health court program, he is ordered to stay away from the Dairy Queen restaurant. Oh, that won't be a problem. We're going to show up there and make more subs? Like, come on. What are we talking about?
Subs at the Dairy Queen. I'm confused.
All right, Karen. Guess the race of Mr. Emmanuel S. Wiggins Jr.
Black.
Karen is going with black. Let's check the chat room, see what they believe. Someone said it's giving trademark infringement.
I don't know no white Wiggins.
Yo, okay. All right. You know, Officer Wiggum on, that's close, on Simpsons, but that's a fictional character.
Right.
Black says Nichelle. And also Chief Wiggum could be black. I don't know. Black says Tammy.
Kind of close.
Okay, we only got 2 guesses so far. Both of them appear to be saying black. Karen is also saying black. And the correct answer is black. You got it correct, Karen, and everybody else.
Woohoo!
And that's him. After looking like he just finished stabbing him. That like the face he made when he's like, now see what you made me do.
Oh no. Okay. Oh no.
Maybe next time you learn your lesson, all right? Maybe the way I make the burger is always the right way. A Florida fast food worker is our next story. A Florida fast food worker accused of killing customer over fast food order. Can y'all wait? Let me make sure. Is this the news? This might just be. Oh yeah, okay. Let me know if y'all can hear this. You should be able to hear it, but you can't see it, I think. But we'll find out.
Elijah Mackey.
Deputies say this man, 23-year-old Elijah Mackey, is the Checkers worker who shot and killed.
Okay, so did y'all hear that in the chat room?
They did.
Yep. Okay, I'll keep playing it then.
Killed a customer over a food order. He showed no emotion during his first appearance this afternoon, charged with the murder of Wesley Robertson.
The defendant will be held pursuant to Arthur at no bond that can be taken up with an appropriate motion with the division judge.
The affidavit for arrest warrant gives details from 2 witnesses who were also at the Checkers Old Town in Kissimmee. They give similar accounts. One says in part, the customer began complaining about his order. A male employee came around the right side of the building and began an argument with the customer. The customer called the employee an expletive, and the male employee pulled out a small handgun. The second...
Oh, he was ready for that action, boss.
Yeah,
So let me tell you
Checkers is
something.
like the drug house.
Let me tell you something about Checkers, dog. Now, I know somebody in America is going to have to resist the urge to write in.
I know.
So I'm just going to say it's comedic license, even though anecdotally it is 100% my experience. And I will not believe you, even if you write in with proof and a fucking geographic location,
Don't care.
everything.
Every single one I've been to.
I have never seen a Checkers in a good neighborhood.
It's always
my
been
life.
in the hood.
Checkers operate like a drug spot.
Mm-hmm.
Meaning, Checkers do not let you sit inside that bitch.
Nope.
You can't use the bathroom in that motherfucker. You get your food and go. They drop it out the window like it is season 3 of The Wire. Like they're just like, here you go. That's your food. Good luck with them burgers, player. Okay, same time. Hand me the money at the same time. Like you order around here, you go around the corner and somebody will point you to Amsterdam. That's how it works. They might as well call Checkers Hamburgersterdam. That's what the fuck it is. Cause
and on top of that, means he had to climb out a window because
they don't got no doors.
They don't got no doors.
Only doors for the employees in the back, and they
In the
coming out of
back.
that shit like the Brinks truck.
You know they is.
Like they come out of that bitch rolling with security, and you know they got guns in there. Cause how could you ever get a job at a Checkers and not have a gun? What are you, suicidal?
Right.
All right, back to the video though. Sorry.
Witness said in part, the male was possibly asking for mayonnaise packets. Expletives were heard. The employee pulled out a gun and shot him.
We spent some time at the Checkers this afternoon. It's open, there weren't too many customers, and the management would not speak with us.
Makes me feel scared and insecure.
It's tragic. You know, things like that happen. We don't know what's going on with their personal lives. So unfortunately, there's a lot of mental health issues that are going on with people that they just don't resolve. So that could be one of the factors. We just don't know.
It doesn't make...
I want to shout out these 2 eyewitnesses, I guess people in the public they interviewed. Makes me feel scared and insecure is crazy work to say to the news about Checkers, but it is true. Shout out to his vulnerability and honesty, because every time I ever went to Checkers, I felt scared and insecure.
Yeah, and on top of that, we normally Roger would be driving, and I'll be just looking around, make sure nobody walk up on the car.
Karen be on lookout duty, I'll be on food duty, and between the 2 of us, we get out of there.
Right.
But I don't go up there by myself. I need a lookout.
And nothing ever fresh. You order some shit, you're gonna be waiting for it.
And you might have to just drive off.
Yeah,
like it's Checkers.
You might have to drive off before you get your food, and you might have been unpaid.
Somebody behind you be like, I don't got no mustard. It's like, oh shit, let me drive off. They gonna start shooting. And then the second lady, she was in the back seat of a car being chauffeured somewhere. And I'm like, ma'am, this is not Checkers behavior. If you can afford the lifestyle where you not driving and you in the back seat,
driving Miss Daisy,
you pulling the white window down to talk to the news, you do not need to be eating Checkers for any reason.
Any point, go to your yoga class and get out of here.
When I was eating Checkers, I was down bad.
Yes.
I was in college and I was like, man, this 450 got to make it somehow.
Yeah, ain't that the truth.
Make you nervous going through drive-thrus and going to these fast food places?
Well, if we would have known that this shooting happened yesterday, I don't think we would have chosen this restaurant. So, yeah, unfortunately. Well, hopefully the employees are doing okay and they get some kind of trauma. Yeah, some kind of trauma treatment.
Laverne McGee, News 6.
Trauma treatment.
She
Girl.
called it a restaurant.
Girl, I know you ain't from around there.
No, you are not. You do not belong here.
You just went and got you some Checkers. You ain't had nothing to do. All right, Karen, guess the race of the employee who shot the person in Checkers.
Black.
All right, let's check the chat room, see what they believe.
He asked for mayo, and he was like, "Mayo, this motherfucker," and then all of a sudden, just started shooting.
All right, I'm about to America whip your ass.
That's how that
went. You want a packet of mayo? I'm about to be smoking on that customer pack. Well, not my Captain America, Mackie Black as the pepper on those peppery niggery fries.
Oh no,
them fries do be good though.
Oh, ain't them fries?
I mean,
the best.
listen, I will say this:
they sprinkle crack on them.
I will say this: I do not think Checkers is actually a drug money laundering organization like Arby's.
No, they actually really do sell the
Checkers food be busting. Enough to die for? Not really.
Yeah,
but close. Close enough to make you drive out there.
To make you drive out there.
Many a person's caught astray in that line. Black as the pepper. Mayo sounds like white nonsense, but black is my guess. Checkers black. Yeah, I don't know the race of the customer asking for the mayo on their sandwich, but the correct answer is black for the employees. And that's what he looks like in jail clothes.
He look young,
right? But I mean, it's Checkers. You don't gotta be. If you got a post in a 6th grade education, you can work at Checkers.
Yes, you can.
Honestly, they probably don't like you too old and too smart. We're like, whoa, calm down, buddy.
Trying to be reasonable and shit. No, we can't be having that.
When someone asks to speak to a manager, what do you A, pull out a gun and kill them? B, go get the manager? Like,
right.
Kill them, of course. You're hired on the spot.
Right.
I'm just glad we was able to get you away from Waffle House before
right.
They got you.
Right. You be like, incorrect. We don't have managers.
Right. You. The correct answer is I am the manager, or would you like to speak to my manager, Colt 45? Let's go to the bonus round. I think you're 2 for 2.
Yay.
I ain't racist. How can I be racist about anybody or anything in my life? How can I?
Call them niggas. Just call them niggas.
It's time to get
gold teeth, gold chain wearing, fried chicken and biscuit eating, monkey ate baboon, big thigh, fast running, high jumping, spear chucking, 360-degree basketball.
A man who admitted sexually gratifying himself with pool floats has pleaded guilty to a months-long burglary spree that netted him dozens of inflatable partners.
Oh, what? So, did he jack off to the float? Did he have sex?
They do got a little hole to put the air in. Maybe he was fucking that.
Oh,
I don't know. Maybe it was fucking him. Maybe it was anyway. Christopher Monin, 41. Christopher Monin, copped to theft and burglary charges on the eve of his scheduled June 2nd criminal trial. Well, what about the sexual assaults on the floats? What about the real victims of this crime?
Right. What about the floats?
That Duckett was asking for it. While such felony convictions carry stiff maximum prison terms.
That donut was looking pretty frosty.
It was glazed when he got done. Monen's plea deal resulted in downward departure in part because he requires special treatment for mental disorder. Yeah, I can imagine.
That makes sense.
That's unrelated to substance abuse or addiction, according to a court filing which noted the defendant was amenable to treatment. A judge sentenced him to 2 years of community control, an intensive form of probation that compares to house arrest. He will then be placed on standard probation for 8 additional years. I know he's going to have a weird probation, like you can't be in 20 feet of a pool.
Or a floating device.
Right. You can't even go to a parade, not even them kind of floats.
No. Them
you can't have an ice cream float. You can't watch part 1 of It. Seen above, Monin, who was also fined $840, has spent 8 months in the county jail before being released on bond. Monin's case, which has dragged on for years, again, following his 1:30 a.m. suspicious person arrest by a Palm Bay police department officer. The cop spotted him riding a bicycle and carrying a white garbage bag full of what he identified as deflated pool floats. Oh, man, was he like, man, wait till I get home and blow these bad boys up.
Right.
This gonna be a fucking pool float orgy. Since Palm Bay has been plagued with burglaries in which suspect cuts the screen or otherwise enters the victim's back pool area and steals only pool floats. So he wasn't the pool boat float bandit. He was just only stealing pool floats? Wow. Mona was identified as a prime suspect, where police have received more than a dozen separate reports about pool float burglaries. During police questioning, he reportedly admitted to burglarizing several residences and swiping mini floats. He directed investigators to a vacant house across the street where he stored the floats. As is detailed in the police report, they found about 75 floats in the house.
75?
Including a lounge chair with cup holders, a duck float, a watermelon float, and a float shaped like a piece of bacon.
Woo.
He was beating that meat.
He was still in all 4 food groups. What is happening here?
Oh,
could you imagine? And you know some of these got to be some of the children's favorite thing. You go out there, where's Bacony? I have no idea. Bacony gone, baby.
He also stole a Shaquille O'Neal branded Shaq inflatable lounger. Guess he was shacking off. Monin, whose home did not have a pool, reportedly told police that he sexually gratifies himself with the floats and does this instead of raping women.
Oh no.
Well, you know what? In that case,
I think I
whatever floats your boat.
I'd rather, child, I buy you a float then.
This show is sinking to all kinds of levels.
Ain't it sinking low?
Prior to the pool float plea, Monin had been convicted of burglary, theft, loitering, and prowling and violating probation. Each of his prior burglary convictions dated back to 2007 and 2008 involved the theft of pool floats, he was collared in 2017 for loitering and prowling.
Yeah, people should have known, like, within like a 25-mile radius, all the floats was gone and nobody could figure out why.
They knew who it was. You know what I keep thinking, too, is like, I wonder if he just liked fucking floats, but then he acted like that was like, listen, it's either this or I'm gonna be sexually assaulting women around here. It's like, well, we wouldn't want you doing that. I guess it's okay that you're fucking these floats. He's like, thank you. All right, Karen, guess the race of Mr. Christopher Monin.
Christopher Monin is white.
All right.
And he was moaning while he was fucking them floats.
He probably was. Hope floats white.
That's hilarious.
All right. You know what's funny about him is he's not a fan of Trump, but he is a big fan of FLOTUS. Spanking that bacon white plastic palm person.
That's hilarious.
God, I hope the confetti coming down white. The correct answer is white.
Oh no!
Yeah.
Oh no!
Mm-hmm.
Oh, child, what is happening here?
Yeah.
Yeah, child. Yeah, I could see you being like, yeah, let me go ahead and get this float.
Yeah. You know, looking at his mug shot, to me, he looks deflated.
He was upset when he got caught. The police let the air out the situation.
He didn't expect this to blow up.
He expected to float away.
That's
hilarious.
All right, let's go to sword ratchetness. You know his favorite porn star is?
Who?
Brian Pumper.
That's a good one.
All right, let's see. We got sword ratchetness to talk about. Let me see if I can share my screen with you so we can watch the story together. All right, here we go. And let's
Violence unfolding overnight in a neighborhood north of downtown as police say two roommates got into a fight, pulled out knives, and even a sword. It happened just after 12:30 this morning.
And that's why Highlanders should not room together.
Agreed.
Because the next thing you know, you got a bonkai this motherfucker. Y'all both had swords? Or both had knives? That's crazy.
There can only be one.
Right.
And that's what happened.
He's like, this is my ninja way.
At the intersection of San Pedro and West Rosewood Avenue. That's when police say those two roommates started arguing, and then the heated exchange of words turned violent. One of the men was hurt in the brawl and another arrested. Police haven't yet released the name of the suspect, who's now facing an aggravated assault charge.
I know his name. Ichigo Kurosaki.
Right. That's what it is.
All right, y'all. That's it for today's episode. Tomorrow we have an interview. Dr. Tia Paul, I believe, at 6 p.m. Dermatologist. And if you have questions about your skin and dermatology and all that stuff, come prepared in the chat room and we'll ask. Until next time, I love you.
I love you too.
Mwah. Bye, everybody.